Okay, welcome guys to today's webinar session hosted by me. But before we go ahead, I guess let's just wait a couple of seconds so we can make sure that everyone can join today's session. Yeah, it's so great to have you guys in today's webinar. As you can see, the title is I Look Back at 25, but also, of course, what's coming for 26. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Serhat. I'm part of the team that is taking care of our customers at IamIP, which means some of you may know me, some of you may not. So it's really nice to meet you all. And thank you for being here. As always, if you have any questions, there should be a chat button in the webinar panel. So simply feel free to ask all of your questions and I will be happy to answer them. If there should be questions which I will not be able to answer right now or in this webinar, I will of course take them with me and make sure that you will receive a proper answer. But let's really make this an interactive session. So we have 30 minutes. This is the very compact agenda of today's webinar. So if you have anything you would like to share or any thoughts of yours, I'm here to support you in that, right? So yeah, as you can see, this should be the chat panel for GoToWebinar. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them, right? I mean, for those of you who don't know IamIP yet, we have a few new faces in today's webinar. We have been founded in 2013 and offer a patent management software specifically dedicated to manage third-party patents. And over the time, we have not just grown with our customer base, but of course with our employee base and the office base. And the only thing, or the most important thing we look to really is to think on how can we make our customer lives easier and automate more stuff into the platform, which is why, of course, we have developed some amazing tools in 25, but which is also why we will release some great new features in 26. We will go ahead and take a look at all of that, which we are able to share right now. But before we go into that, I guess let's just take a few seconds for a quick warm-up session. It's nothing big, but I have prepared two questions for you, and you should receive the question on your screen, and you will be able to select an answer. And once you select the answer, I will maybe wait a few seconds so everyone can answer that. I can submit his answer, and then let's just see how many of you are ticking or have been ticked the right boxes, right? And the first question is really, how many legal status watches have been created in 25? So it's kind of a tricky question because you never really know. Oh, I see. Okay, and I will actually share the results as well. So, and you can maybe find yourself in a lucky position. Yeah. Let's just wait. I think 10 more seconds, so 10, 15 more seconds, so everyone has enough time to submit their answer. Okay. Oh, we have quite a few responses actually, and I will now close. Yeah. Oh, I still see people answering. So, but let's just close that second question for now. And the correct answer is actually more than 344,000 legal status watches, which have been created, 25 in the entire platform of IamIP by all of you guys. It's an amazing number. I would never guessed it if I wouldn't knew it. So, and actually 41% of you submitted the right answer, which is quite a good number. So I assume many of you are, of course, in that ecosystem all the time. And let's just go ahead to to the second question, and the second question is really how many AI summarizer requests have been submitted in 25. For those of you who don't have that tool yet, it's our first AI tool we have released, I think, at the end of 24, which basically generates a technical summary of a respective patent document you're choosing. So, and I think many of you are already using it, if not the most, but I think quite many are using it. So let's just see how many of you are guessing for the right answer. Oh, I see some good numbers over there. Oh yeah, yeah. I think this question was a bit easier than the first one. Okay, then let's just close this answer. And the right answer was actually in the middle, so a little bit more than 41,000 summarizer requests, which is quite a good number. And actually, I think now 65% of all the attendees in this webinar have submitted the right answer. And yeah, I think that's it for a warm up. And before we really jump into the products of 25 or the highlights of 25, on the behalf of the team of IamIP, I really just want to say thank you for an amazing year of 2025. Not just from a product side, we will of course take a look at the products and the features we have released, but I also want to thank you guys for all the webinars you have attended with us, for all the podcasts, for the Digital Patent Forum we had this year. And if you would ask me, one of the few things I really like about my job is to interact with all of you, or with many of you, in a very different way. And we are actually, if we take a look at 26 later, we are still looking for customers who want to do sessions with us, so webinars with us, case studies with us, maybe a podcast with us. So if you have an idea and really want to speak about a certain topic which currently is on your mind in the patent space, just feel free to reach out to me and I will connect you with the right persons in our company. This can, of course, I mean, we have customers all over the world, so this can be in German, this can be in English, in Swedish, in Finnish. So it doesn't really matter which language you speak. We will, if you have a topic which you would like to discuss with us in a webinar format, we will definitely find a way. Going ahead, as I said, we have released an AI summarizer, which was the main reason we have released it, because patent documents were of course very long and our customers asked for a way to, take or spend less time on a document in order to understand what the patent is really about. So we have released a summarizer with, I think, great success. Many of you guys are using it. But when it comes to understanding patent claims, it wasn't really that easy. So we couldn't really just create a summarizer and let it through to the claims, because as you know, the patent claims, every word is somehow in an important matter, and it can be very dangerous if you simply leave out a few words, because the meaning of that word, of that claim, can actually be changed, which is why we have created a large language model that basically goes over the respective claim and directly explains it from the definition of that respective patent document, right? And the result is basically that you don't need to switch anymore between two screens, that you can simply understand, okay, what the respective term is about. And it doesn't just need to be one term, but it can also be multiple terms you can let through the clarifier. So the goal was really to create a tool that many of you guys has asked for in specific regard to the, technical and oftentimes legal language the claims are written in. I hope this tool has solved many of your guys' problems and helped you to become better in the platform from an overall matter. But as of course, if you have any questions to that, just feel free to ask in the chat or get back to us later, and we will be happy to help you on that, right? The second bigger release I would like to talk about is the aspect of tagging. I know that many of you guys are using tags or have tags in place, and what we oftentimes hear is that tagging manually can be a lot of work, especially if you have a specific monitoring or you have specific patents, which only, let's say, a few persons in your team are able to tag. So you always need specific persons, you always need to invest a specific amount of time, which can of course be a hurdle sometimes, which is why we have released a so-called AI tagger, specifically designed for customers who already have a tagging structure in place. And what the AI tagger is basically doing is it learns from the tags you have in place and adapts it to the weekly monitoring cycle. So every week when the new patents arrive, the tagger goes through your monitoring and tags the patents based on the way you tagged them before. And some of you have already tested it, some of you haven't tested the tool yet. And if you would be interested in a trial, you can always reach out to us and we will be happy to discuss the details of that tool with you. One question we always hear very often is, will the tagger actually create tags for myself? And that's really not the case. So in order to make use of the tagger, you would already need tags in place. Ideally, you would have a few portfolios with patents which are already tagged, so we can train the tagger based on that. But if you need any support or if you have any questions on that, really just feel free to reach out and we will be more than happy to help you with that. Then, of course, what we have also updated in 25 is, I think this was quite early 25, many of you probably don't recall it, but it's the collaboration section. So we really made an adjustment from a previously small window up to a larger screen, which isn't just a cosmetic update, but now the receiver of the task is, for example, also able to see from which portfolio is coming it, from which monitoring is it coming. And as someone who, for example, sent the task to multiple people, you want to understand, okay, how many persons I sent this task to already finished with their task? How many people do I need to maybe to remember for the task? Or how can I really see what status the respective task really is? Together with a few filtering options, we have basically updated the collaboration function. I know that many of you guys already gave great feedback to it, and the collaboration tool of IamIP is also something we will be continuously improving in 26 as well. But as always, if you have a great idea, if you have any thoughts of yours, what you are might missing in the collaboration section of IamIP, just really feel free to reach out, because as you know, especially in customer support, we are always chasing customer feedback, and whenever we hear great feedback, we are very eager to share it with the management for implementation. And so whenever you have a great idea, just really feel free to share it. The other thing we have released is the smart rule feature of IamIP. And in case many of you guys, I mean, many of, let's say, or long-term customers maybe knew that in the past, when we talked about rules, it was basically meant that a specific task would be sent to a specific person after you maybe set a tag. And based on that trigger, you could send the respective task to that person. And now we have basically updated, so you can not just send tasks based on triggers, but you will also now be able to move patents into specific portfolios, copy patents, or even create legal status updates. And an update which we have released last week is for those of you guys who are using the AI categorizer of IamIP, so the AI monitoring. We have now implemented the feature that you are able to set rules based on relevance levels, which means that you can, for example, create yourself a workflow which allows the relevant patents to be moved or copied immediately into a separate portfolio, so they can be separated from your monitoring, and you save already yourselves a few clicks. And what's really to come in 26, I think that's really the most important or the most interesting part for that in that webinar. And let me tell you that what I will show you today is, of course, just a glimpse of what we are developing here at IamIP. I promise there will be more webinars regarding what we are developing in 26, and we will throughout the year release more and more information for you guys to really understand what are we working on, what are we not working on, and we will keep you in the loop of everything we are currently doing in terms of new features or new updates. And as you know, we have released the claim clarifier in 25, but there was also a big hurdle in when it comes to comparing claims within the same patent family. For example, sometimes you really want to understand the strategic decision behind the change of claims in an A1 document or an A2 document, or just you sometimes really want to see how does a company really work with the claims? Are they reducing the claims after a grant, or are they really, let's say, widening the claims in specific areas or in specific regions of the world? And this is really what the AI claim comparer will be for. So you will now have a tool which allow you to compare the claims of a respective or of two respective documents within the same patent family. So in that case, for example, I have a screenshot of a IPC document and an EP document, both from the same patent family, but you see there are changes or there have been made adjustments in the claims. And as you know, even though if it's the same patent family, there can still be differences. And as you know, differences in claims, even if it's just minor differences, can really create a whole nother story of meaning behind them, which is why we thought it would really be a great idea to have a tool like that. On the right side, you see the legend. So we have a legend of added paragraphs, removed paragraphs, modified, added words, and removed words. So everything which is marked in color will be directly be based on the color of the legend. So for example, when you see something marked in green, it means that there have been paragraphs added into that patent. Unfortunately, it's just a screenshot which I will be able to share right now, but I promise you we will work on providing you with more content for that tool as well. But in case you may be asking yourself, how do I really spot the different documents I want to, for example, compare? There will be actually a drop-down menu which you can select the respective two documents you want to compare. And if you select them, you can click on generate comparison, and the AI claim comparer will then go ahead and really do the work for you. Right, and as always, it's really currently in development. So if you are interested in a possible alpha version, or if you have any great idea what we can include into that tool, please really reach out. So we are currently searching for customers who would be interested in helping us shaping the tool the way you like it. So whether you are interested in a early test version, whether you are interested in in sharing your ideas with us, please just get back to us, and we will listen on what you will have to say. The next bigger thing is really something that many of you guys have asked for, and I will keep myself very short on that. It's basically that we are currently in the process of developing an AI search function for IamIP. Many of you guys have asked for it. I know that many of you guys are asking all the time for it, which I totally understand, because right now we offer four types of searches in IamIP. All are somehow related to the Boolean search, and Boolean search it's a great search. It's a very detailed search, but in order to really make it work, you need to exactly know first what are you searching for, but you also really need to make sure that you type the right things or you use the right syntax. And as you know, in Boolean search, it's very tricky. So if you have a search syntax of maybe half a page and you just miss, let's say, an operator, the complete search string can navigate into a whole nother direction. So it really is currently something for people who are, of course, a little bit into the world of patent search. But now we are really looking forward to developing a tool that not just really understands the Boolean search, but also really to understand the actual questions you are asking it. So the AI search will be essentially the fifth search type of IamIP. It is, of course, not here to replace the Boolean search. The Boolean search will always be available on IamIP. But for those of you guys who simply want to have an easier time of searching for specific patterns in a way that's more comfortable for them, for example, in natural sentences, in complete sentences, or in a few bullet points, you will be able to receive a chat field. So imagine something like a chat entry field in which you can post your question in and then receive the results from the tool. So whether you are a search expert, whether you are not a search expert, it's really a search tool that will give everyone the ability to search for patents of their choice. At this stage, there is unfortunately no further information I will be able to share with you, but I promise that we are currently working on a little bit more content, which we hopefully will be able to share with you throughout the year. So there will be more webinars and more informations regarding that tool, which will come in 26. But as always, if you have any questions or any ideas, just really to reach out or ask your questions in the chat, and I will try to answer most of them as good as I can. And the last, let's say, bigger thing, which we are of course working on, is an update on the legal status database of IamIP, because as you know, there are, for example, patents in some countries. I mean, one example is maybe the US patents. They sometimes can really remain longer than 20 years of active. And this can have several reasons. Maybe the examination took a bit longer, maybe there were some delays. So in some edge cases, patents can stay longer active than 20 years. And there are actually a bit few other edge cases like that. And we will update the IamIP database to make sure that we collect the right information for these special situations as well, which means that not just these kind of US patents will be shown correctly with the correct duration, but also we are currently in the same progress of working of trying to implement a few more legal status updates throughout the year. And with that, we really hope to give you guys a good overview on what will be come for 26. Of course, as I said, what I've just shown you is just really a glimpse of what we are currently developing for 26. There is so much more to come, but if you have any ideas, or if you, for example, have an interest in participating in alpha or beta tests, really just feel free to reach out, and we will definitely take note of that. So there's more information to come throughout the year and more webinars to come throughout the year. So really stay tuned for that. And with that, I would say let's just take a look at the questions. Let me just open the question field. So we have a question to the AI claim comparer, and the question is: comparing text is straightforward. What advantage does AI offer in that regard? That's really a good question. So what advantage does AI offer in that regard? Of course, what you are doing right now is, what you are doing right now is you compare the claims manually, which is of course possible from a manual standpoint, but then we are talking about manual comparison. So the challenge, I think, for many customers is right now, for many users, that you are, of course, when you comparing claims, you are not just looking for differences, but you always maybe want to know, are there specific words that have changed the direction on where they stand? Have there been paragraphs removed? Have there been something added? And you always want to when you think of a patent family, you always want to make sure that you maybe understand the strategic decisions of that company on how they treat claims. For example, there are some cases where an application of a patent has a wide variety or a long variety of claims, and all of a sudden, when the patent is getting granted, they somehow shrink the scope of the claims. And this tool is, of course, not just to really compare the claims. It will, of course, compare the claims, and it will disable the manual work you are currently having without the AI. So the AI will take part of the easier way of comparing it, but it will also give you a tool which hopefully will allow you to really analyze the way this company, this competitor, this let's say a target of yours is really treating the claims and the way they are treating it. And we hope that this intelligence, that this kind of information will help many of our customers make the right decisions. And this is what we hope to solve with an automated tool which will compare the claims. But that's really a good question, and I really loved answering it. So if you have many more of that questions, just feel free to ask or reach out to us personally, and we will try to provide you with as much as information as we can. I think that's the last question in that chat. Let me actually see if we have a few more questions. So yeah, I guess that's it. I can't find any further questions. So, oh, there's one more question. Are you currently developing an AI-driven use case for patent monitoring or patent landscape analysis? Yeah, that's a very good question. So are you currently developing an AI-driven use case for patent monitoring? Yes, we already have the AI categorizer, which is essentially an AI monitoring, which is taking care of the categorization process. So whenever you receive your weekly monitoring patents, you would, for example, without the categorization, scroll down your patents and really identify which of them are important and which are not important. And this is something we already have in place. So if you are interested in that regard of AI monitoring, just really to feel free to reach out, and I will provide you with more information whenever I can. An AI-driven use case for or patent landscape analysis. Patent landscape analysis is a very good question. At this moment, it's nothing which is on the, let's say, short or midterm roadmap of IamIP. But I will take that with me and try to make sure that I will give you a more profound answer on that. Maybe this is something that is let's say, in a more wider range roadmap of us. But on the short and midterm, I would not say so. No. I think that's it. I can't find any more questions. So if you have anything else, just feel free to reach out. I will be happy to help whenever I can. And I thank you guys for attending this webinar. It was a great time to spend with you. And I wish you guys a wonderful rest of the week. And yeah, have a good time until then. Thank you guys.